40 for Rateable Crest Titans.
Welcome to the SeaconUK Rally Show, brought to you by Special Stage, our new monthly magazine show bringing you some of the best rally action from around the UK. Coming up in this show, we take a trip to Yorkshire for the Reed Group East Riding Stages. But first, we head to Norfolk and to Snetterton Circuit for the Snetterton Stages Rally. Straight out onto the stages then at Snetterton, and we'd see John Griffiths and Emma Morrison leading the way. This event forming part of the Winter Circuit Championship. And this pair have been putting in some good results in that series. This weekend was looking like no exception to that rule.
Yeah. It's the other way around now, but yeah, it's good. I don't know what we're like on time. It felt a little bit scruffy, but we'll see.
Ollie O'Donovan and Ashley Morris were becoming regulars themselves on circuit events, enjoying the stages and still managing to have some fun in the car, as well as going fast. They lie in second place for now.
Ollie O'Donovan with Ashley Morris alongside. How's it going there?
I've been good. I'm having good fun. Can't complain.
Plenty of sideways for you?
Yeah, I like going sideways, as you know, but no, I'm enjoying it. These circuit rallies are good, like.
Yeah, she doing a good job. She's doing all right, is she?
Absolutely, yeah, no problem there, guys. She's on it.
New to rallying this season will be Michael Igo, partnered by co-driver Will Atkins. Michael had come from circuit racing and was giving rallying a bit of a go. Clearly, the two were similar enough for him to get to grips well on these circuit events, lying third place for now and just a handful of seconds behind O'Donovan. Fourth at this stage will be Kieran Hankin and James Swallow. The pair close on the times as well, just a further 3 seconds back from the podium. And it will be a similar story for this pair, Sean and Colin Quigley as well. They were just a further 3 seconds back from Hankin up ahead. All very close and all still to play for. Tony Robinson and Paul Spooner were putting in some good times in the Skoda, still only a handful of seconds back themselves on the leaderboard in 6th place.
Yeah, pretty good. We went fairly well on that stage, but I had to just avoid taking a chicane out, and I stalled it and I had to restart it. It's been a bit tricky restarting actually, so I lost a bit more time than I could have done.
And Daryl Taylor and Steve McNulty would be cautiously bedding themselves in this weekend after an accident at the previous round at Brands Hatch. But the pace was still looking pretty good. They end the morning with 7th overall. Things have been going well for this pair. Meanwhile, Steve Finch with Sam Fordham alongside, right up until the point where the car spun on stage 4, that is. Thankfully for them, the pace was still good. It was a case of damage limitation, and they end the morning with 8th place on our leaderboard. William Hill and Richard Crozier would bring the new car out for a run this weekend. It was an interesting one as well. The new Rally 3 Fiesta, aimed at being a cost-effective four-wheel drive car from M Sport, and they were showing how it could perform at a circuit venue as they end the morning with 9th place. Rounding out our top 10 just behind them was this man, Martin Hodgson, Tony Jones alongside, leading the way in the two-wheel drive cars. They were happy with how things were going and just doing all they could to keep up with the four-wheel drive cars ahead. On to the afternoon stages then, and the weather was still looking good for the crews to have a big push out there on these stages. A good mix of circuit stuff and the infield, which is tight and technical. Before we take a look at the top of the overall leaderboard though, a quick look at who took the class honours. In Class 1, it will be Brian Marquis and Mark Annison taking victory. 1.5 minutes lead in the class over John Bray and Freddie Hewitt. In Class 2, it would be the victory there for Daniel Poole and Andrew Millington. A little closer in this class fight. They were only 24 seconds in the lead by the end of the day over Dale and Andrew Lawson. Jack Tilburn and Jody Wilson would end the rally with the Class 3 win, even with a 10-second penalty for hitting a cone. They take victory over Aaron Ricks and Abby Haycock in that Mark 1 Escort. On to the overall results then, and it would be disappointment for Michael Igoe and Will Atkins. They take a wrong direction on stage 5, ending up with a maximum time for the stage and pushing them down to 10th place on the leaderboard by the end of the rally. For James Garner and Jack Cuttle, it will be 9th place this weekend, enough for the pair to take 2nd in Class 4 as well. William Hill and Richard Crozier have a great run in the new car, taking 8th place overall in that fascinating Rally 3 Fiesta, getting themselves what would probably be the first of many class wins this season with that performance. There would be no chasing Martin Hodgson and Tony Jones for the Class 4 victory, as well as the lead in the two-wheel drive category of the rally. They end the event 7th place overall, as well as taking that class win. No more spins or anything untoward for that matter for Steve Finch and Sam Fordham. They end the rally with 6th place overall, a strong end for the Fiesta pair. A stall in one of the Snetterton chicanes will be the only issue to report for Tony Robinson and Paul Spooner. A little time lost getting the car started again wouldn't help, but they do manage to bag a 5th place overall finish in the Skoda. Darryl Taylor and Steve McNulty in that Martini-esque Fiesta Rally 2 has started to gain confidence again in the afternoon. Pushing on now and putting in some great times. They end the rally just outside our podium positions in 4th. On we go then to those podium positions here in Norfolk. And Sean and Colin Quigley will be more than happy with their finish for the weekend. They take 3rd overall in what have been an enjoyable event for the pair at Snetterton. Ollie O'Donovan and Ashley Morris had enjoyed a good mix of speed and sideways in the car, as usual, and the pair end the event with 2nd overall after a good, close fight this weekend. But coming out on the right side of that fight and taking victory will be John Griffiths and Emma Morrison. They'd held on to that lead all day, and that victory adds to an already impressive season for the pair so far in the Circuit Rally Championship.
John, Snetterton Stages Rally winner 2023, how's that feel?
Yeah, superb. That's 3 in a row. We're having a few issues with the car last off, so it was touch and go. It was nice in the car last 2 stages, but yeah, good. We're finished, and I say it's 3 in a row.
So we reach the end of the Snetterton Stages Rally. Here's a quick reminder of how those overall results tallied up. Once again, the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Series is set to return in 2023 for some serious fun on the stages. It does what it says on the tin as well. The series taking in England, Scotland and Wales as the crews compete on some of the best and in places pretty iconic gravel events around. The championship gets underway with the Malcolm Wilson Rally on the 11th of March, where the crews will head for M Sport headquarters and compete on some infamous forests in the Lake District, including the challenging Grisdale stage. After that, it's off to Wales for the Rally Nuts stages and some of the most iconic rally mileage that Mid Wales has to offer, followed by the Border Counties Rally, Kielder Forest Rally, Nicky Grist stages, Woodpecker stages, the Trackrod Forest stages, and the season finale in North Wales for the Cambrian Rally. Once again, Special Stage will be out on all of the events in the BTRDA Rally calendar, bringing you live coverage from the stages on every round. And of course, you'll be able to catch a short roundup of the action from each of those rallies as well, right here on the SeaconUK Rally Show. ...2023 would mark the 2nd running of the Reed Group East Riding stages. And for this year, it would be the start of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship season. Fastest out of the blocks will be James Ford and Neil Shanks, bringing a C3 R5 out to play this year after an Escort last year. It was no surprise that this pair were quick, but having been seeded at 19th on the road, it was probably a surprise for those around them to see them leading from the first stage of the day. Last year's winners, David Henderson and Chris Lees, would for now have to settle for second place. Only a few seconds in it, and they were pushing. But they were trying not to get caught out in these very challenging and slippery conditions facing the crews this morning in East Yorkshire. Conditions that in fact caught out many right from the off, with last year's asphalt champion Steve Wood not even making it to our cameras, and others like John Indry and Claire Williams becoming passengers on the icy roads in places. David Wright and Paula Swinsko would be another pair to be caught out. Not in front of our cameras though. They have a big spin in stage 2, losing around 20 seconds trying to get the car going again, putting them in third by the end of the morning. Drive of the morning surely though had to go to Kevin and Owen Davies, their first time out in the R5, and they were seeded down in 37th place. The pair would put in times that were knocking on the door of a podium position and end the morning with 4th overall. Rob Swan and Darren Garrett took a sensible approach to the tricky stages in the morning, and it was working so far. They reached service with 5th place overall in the Fiesta. And it would be a solid, if cautious, start as well for Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh, long-time supporters of the Asphalt Championship. They end the morning with a solid 6th place on the leaderboard. Elliot Payne came here as the youngest ever reigning BTRDA Gold Star champion on the gravel. But would he and Tom Woodburn be able to get to grips with the asphalt? We'd see. They were having a few issues with the setup on the car through the morning, as well as some brake issues which would need looking at as well. 7th place, probably not where they aimed to be by this stage, but they hadn't lost too much time. John Stone and Laura Connell debut the new and stunning colour scheme on that Polo R5 this weekend, ending the morning with 8th on the leaderboard. Joan McCand and Charlotte McDowell would be a little further back on the times, but not by much. They end the morning 9th place. And rounding out the top 10 leaderboard will be local crew and previous British Rally champion Johnny Milner, with Duncan McMath alongside, getting back into the swing of things and enjoying driving a Corolla World Rally car on his home stages. Of course, a car just like this was the one that brought him those 2 British Rally Championship titles. On to the afternoon stages then, which our crews would be hoping had dried out and had become a bit less slippery. A quick look first at the class results, with Charlie Barlow and Emma Morrison taking victory in Class A, around a 30-second advantage at the end of the day over Mark and Andrew Constantine in 2nd. In Class B, our winners would be Kev Dunn and Sean Douglas. A strong result, and with almost a minute's advantage in that position over Adam Hanna and Wayne Wood. Ash Slights and Dave Robson would take victory in Class C in the Escort. The car looking a bit of a handful at times, but that didn't seem to stop them from putting those times on the board to take victory, with a good lead in the class over Michael Harbour and Ian McDougall. Class D would see a good close battle of the Escorts, but it would be Darren Atkinson and Mark Twynham who come out on top, taking the class win by just a few seconds from John McCrone and Stuart Loudon, who were clearly pushing hard for that win all day, having come from the land of closed road rallying, the Isle of Mull. In the historic class, it will be Will Rowlands and Emir Hall taking the victory over local legend, one of the Yorkshire Mafia, Mike Reed, with John Millington alongside, finishing 1 minute back on the times. On to the top 10 then, and there'd be no change for Johnny Milner and Duncan McMath. No time lost or gained for the Corolla pair. They take that 10th place overall position. Not bad for a lot of time out of the seat, and even longer outside of a Corolla World Rally car. One pair who had managed to gain some time back were Neil Ruskell and Andrew Roughhead, last year's Asphalt Rally Championship runners-up. A new car for this season, and the morning had had its teething problems, it was fair to say, but with things sorted for the afternoon, they were pushing on and would take 9th place overall. For John Stone and Laura Connell in the Legend Fires Polo R5, it would be 8th place. A good run to start the season off well and put some good points on the board towards that championship campaign. The same could be said for Steve Simpson and Patrick Walsh as well. They end the day 7th place overall, a 20-second lead over Stone by the finish, and they'd be happy about that. After that cracking start, there was frustration for Kevin and Owen Davies. They slipped down the results a little in the afternoon, but it wasn't due to any lack of pace on their part. Their times only a few seconds slower on the stages, and they were certainly keeping up with those ahead to be just over 30 seconds behind the winners on only their first outing in the car. Experience was showing inside the car for Robert Swan and Darren Garrett. They kept their sensible heads on for this one, taking 5th at the end of a hard-fought day. Plans to contest the R5 Championship on Barbados meant that it would be a limited Asphalt Championship campaign, but we were hopeful we'd see them out again soon. We'd see a drop down the leaderboard for our morning's leaders, James Ford and Neil Shanks. They'd last around 30 seconds in stage 6, putting them out of contention for the lead and down in 4th place overall. And with some setup changes made, the brakes repaired, and some much-needed confidence inside that Mango Go Fiesta, it was a good afternoon for Elliot Payne and Tom Woodburn. The confidence you could see from outside of the car. They pushed hard onto the end of the rally, taking the 3rd step of the podium. David Wright and Paula Swinscoe stayed out of trouble and didn't add any more battle scars to that Fiesta through the afternoon. No more trips into ditches. They tried as hard as they could, but 2nd place was where they'd end up. Such a close fight right to the finish, and they miss out on victory by just 3 seconds at the end of the 8 stages. Something that could have been very much the other way round had it not been for their spin in the morning, and they'd surely be ruining that. And indeed, it could have been all change in the penultimate stage of the day as well, when David Henderson and Chris Lees dropped the car into a ditch themselves very briefly, losing, thankfully for them, only a few seconds, and they got it out okay, but it made for a very close call at the finish, taking, though, their 2nd victory on this exciting closed road event.
David Henderson, winner for the 2nd year in a row. You're making a habit of this.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dream come true. It was a hard day, it was a really hard day. Road positioning was difficult for us. We were on slicks right at the start when the road was drying, so that made it quite hard for us, but we just had to see the loop through, and we were in amongst it after that. And then there's some quick boys out there. I had to just keep going, and then I dropped into a ditch on the 2nd last stage. Lost about 5 or 6 seconds, and that just closed it up too uncomfortably tight for the last stage, but it was okay.
You say it was a tough battle. You've got a smile on your face. You enjoyed that.
Well, it's nice looking back. At the time, it's not so much fun. It's not so much fun at all.
Would it be fair to say it was a rally of 2 halves? Because we saw you on the stage this morning, and yeah, you were running first on the road. It was slippery, and then this afternoon you really came into your own.
Yeah, I think I won it with consistency more than anything. I think I only had one fastest stage time, because there are some people out there. There was varying tyres for everyone. Some people on different things, and it resulted in unusual stage times throughout the whole day. But I think consistency won it through for me, really.
David, first of all, no, tell you what, ladies first. Yeah. Paula, well done.
Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it. Really, really good.
You were active on social media in the run-up to the event. You were on the WhatsApp group and all the rest of it. Yeah. New to the championship, both of you?
Yes. Yeah, I've done the Pro Tire years. Well, what was the Pro Tire? What was the Asphalt Championship years ago? But this is the first time I've done it with Dave. So yeah.
I mean, it's all new faces. This is interesting. What can we see this year, do you think?
I mean, we would have done it last year, but it just didn't work out for us. And my son's going to be doing it as well. He's not able to do the first round because he's just had his appendix taken out. So I think it'll be really interesting. I think it'll be really good. It'll be really good competition all year, I hope.
David, we've been watching the times all day, and I said to the other David, it's been a rally of 2 halves this morning. He was cleaning the road, he was running as road opener effectively. Then this afternoon he came back into it, but it really got tight at one point.
Yeah, it was really good because we went out on a wet tyre this morning, like a medium inter, and I think that was the right tyre until it started to dry out in the afternoon. And then obviously David was on slicks, and he came into his own then, so at the end it was a really close battle. It was good. We had a big spin on SS2 and dropped probably 20 seconds, something like that, so it probably lost us the win really, but that's rallying, these things happen. So.
But the end is what? It's 3.6 seconds, I think, between the pair of you. Yeah. So nearly.
It was so close. Really good battle all day. And Elliot was going really well towards the end as well, so it bodes well for the future of the championship.
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
That was quite a scrap. It was all getting very hectic towards the end there.
It certainly was. Compared to this morning, we didn't think we'd be anywhere near this afternoon, but we altered a few things on the car, set up, changed the brakes on it, and then got confidence back in the car, and we just pushed a little bit more throughout the afternoon until we got to where we are now.
Is it fair to say you're more comfortable on gravel, or is this...
Yeah,
yeah, to put it mildly.
Without a doubt, yeah, definitely. We struggled a bit on the tarmac, but we're getting, well, near the end of the day, we're getting more used to it and more consistent with braking points. So, yeah.
One of the questions, or one of the points I made, that all of you are new to Pro Tyre for the championship this year. So new faces in all three positions after the first event. This could be an interesting year.
I think it will be, without a doubt. We'll see how we go. We're doing mainly BRC. And then now event at Pro Tyre as well. We'll see how we get on.
Tom, I always talk figures with co-drivers.
Don't do that with me.
All right, I'll make it easy. 10 seconds covering the top three. That sounds like a real scrap.
Yeah, no, it's impressive after, 45 stage miles, I think. Yeah, it's just a shame this morning we couldn't have pulled our finger out and had the car where we wanted it, but it's a learning curve for us, and like you say, 10 seconds covering the top three. Hopefully it's good for the spectators and people watching back home. So,
David Henderson said he had a problem, dropped off the road or whatever it was on that penultimate one. Did you think at any point we could have him here? How aware were you, first of all?
Yeah, we saw the times going into the last stage. I think we were 8 point something to Henderson. I think it was 5.6 to Dave, so we were well aware. But we just wanted to make sure that we got to the end of the event. You know, don't go and do something stupid on the last stage. But yeah, we can be happy with where we finished today, especially after this morning, Luke.
So after a pretty explosive opening round for the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, here's a reminder of those overall positions after the regroup East Riding stages. 2023 sees Special Stage back out to cover the Ravenel Welsh Rally Championship in association with Pirelli. And with a new and adventurous creative brief from Ravenel, there's set to be some all-new coverage format from each of the championship rounds. The season kicks off at Rally North Wales at the end of March, before taking in some of the best events that Wales has to offer. And with a bumper entry already signed up to do the series, it looks set to be an exciting championship to be a part of. We will have coverage from all rounds of the championship on our Special Stage Facebook page, as well as bringing you the highlights from each round in this monthly show. So that's it for this first episode of the SeaconUK Rally Show. Join us again next month for more action from the Circuit Championship, as well as the opening round of the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Series, the Malcolm Wilson Rally.
Care 40 for Rateable Crest Titans.